Sean Diddy Combs has been arrested by federal agents at a hotel here in New York City.
The rumors are that Diddy was running some kind of Epstein-type deal where he was filming everybody, right?
There have always been a few rappers who weren't scared of Diddy, no matter how much power he had in the music world. While Diddy built his name as a rapper, producer, and businessman, some artists refused to bow down to him. They saw him rise with Bad Boy Records, but never felt the need to follow his lead. What gave them such courage? Let's reveal who stood up to Diddy without a hint of fear and got away with it to see the rapper get busted and in jail. 50 Cent's bold attack on Diddy. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson is well known for his tough stance in the rap scene. From the start, he showed that he wasn't going to be pushed around by anyone, setting a defiant tone that defined his career. His ongoing conflict with Diddy wasn't just a typical rapper disagreement. It escalated into a major rivalry that made waves in the music industry. Before we dive deeper, it's clear that 50 Cent's actions against Diddy were far more intense than anyone realized, and this won't be the only thing that will leave you stunned. 50 Cent has consistently taken aim at Diddy over the years, calling him out on what he sees as shady business dealings and mediocre music production. He has often accused Diddy of using other artists to boost his own business empire instead of focusing on making his own music. One particularly bold moment was when 50 Cent publicly criticized Diddy's music, saying Diddy doesn't make good music anymore.
They were saying the NFL has some issues with me that I don't know what those issues are.
This comment was a direct attack on Diddy's reputation as a musician and producer, suggesting that Diddy had lost the creative touch that once made him famous. But 50 Cent didn't stop there. He also accused Diddy of profiting from the deaths of two beloved figures in hip-hop, the notorious B.I.G. and Tupac Shakur. According to 50 Cent, Diddy used their tragic ends to advance his own status in the industry. Through interviews and posts on social media, 50 Cent has called Diddy a culture vulture, claiming that Diddy takes more from the music world than he contributes. These aren't just casual disses, they are serious accusations that challenge Diddy's character and his authenticity as a figure in the rap world. One of the most intense points of their feud was when 50 Cent brought up a widely discussed accusation that Diddy might have been involved in Tupac's passing. 50 Cent didn't hesitate to mention this in public forums, even making jokes about it, which only added fuel to their fiery rivalry. His willingness to discuss such a controversial issue showed that he was not afraid of any backlash that might come from Diddy or his supporters. What sets 50 Cent apart is his fearless attitude. He seems to enjoy the tension with Diddy, showing no concern for Diddy's powerful position or the potential consequences of his words. He has continued to produce music, grow his businesses, and mock Diddy whenever he gets the chance, proving time and again that he's not intimidated by the renowned music mogul. Eminem is another artist who thrives on controversy.
When I heard that Tupac died, I was cooking in a restaurant and tickets were piling up and I'm like, I don't care, fire me.
Known for his candid and often provocative style, Eminem has built his career on being unapologetically outspoken. He too has taken shots at Diddy, though his method involves more wit and humor rather than direct confrontation. One notable instance where Eminem displayed his daring approach was in his diss track Kill Shot, which was a response to Machine Gun Kelly's Rap Devil. In Kill Shot, Eminem raps, "The day you put out a hit's the day Diddy admits that he put the hit out that got Pac eliminated." This line was shocking not only for its bold content, but for Eminem's audacity to drop such a line. By bringing up one of the most controversial theories in hip-hop, that Diddy was involved in Tupac's death, Eminem showed that he's not afraid to stir up sensitive topics. Eminem's ability to integrate humor with serious accusations makes him a unique force in hip-hop. He has never backed down from a challenge, whether it's targeting Diddy or any other big name in the industry. His fearless approach and willingness to tackle taboo topics head-on have cemented his status as a rapper who can take on anyone, no matter their status or power. Tupac's fight with Diddy wasn't just about music, it was about broken trust and feeling betrayed. As we look closer, you'll see how this changed hip-hop in a big way. Tupac's stand against Diddy. Tupac Shakur is regarded as one of the most influential rappers ever, not just for his musical talent, but also for his boldness. Tupac made it very clear that he wasn't afraid of Diddy, with their rivalry becoming a defining aspect of the notorious East Coast versus West Coast feud. In the early 90s, Tupac and Diddy, along with the notorious B.I.G., initially had a friendly relationship marked by mutual respect for each other's artistic skills. However, after Tupac was shot in 1994 at Quad Recording Studios in New York, he believed Diddy and Biggie had set him up. This suspicion led to Tupac openly accusing them of betrayal, which escalated into an intense and public dispute that involved their music and personal lives. Tupac was vocal and unrelenting in his criticisms, particularly in his notorious diss track, Hit 'Em Up, where he directly attacked Diddy and Biggie. Tupac's anger extended beyond the music. It was personal, driven by a deep sense of betrayal and a desire for revenge. This wasn't just about lyrical battles. Tupac was on a personal mission against those he felt had wronged him. Despite the rising dangers associated with the feud, Tupac never hesitated to stand up to his adversaries, no matter how influential they were. He continued to challenge Diddy, Biggie, and anyone else he believed had betrayed him, showing that he feared no one in the music industry. His courage and willingness to confront his enemies head-on are what truly set him apart as a legendary figure in rap history. Tupac's disagreement with Diddy wasn't just a simple spat in the rap world, it marked a crucial change that reshaped the music genre completely. Tupac's choice to stand strong, despite the possible risks, turned him into a figure of boldness and bravery, proving to everyone that he wasn't afraid of anyone, not even a big name like Diddy. Drake might be famous for his smooth words, catchy tunes, and songs that pull at your heartstrings, but don't be mistaken, he's also tough when facing big names like Diddy.
What made you put hands on Drake?
I did not put hands on Drake.
Oh.
And I do not want any problems with Drake.
Their not-so-well-known clash wasn't as loud or fierce as other famous fights, but it was still a key moment that showed Drake's toughness and bravery. Back in 2014, news came out that Diddy and Drake had a heated moment outside a nightclub in Miami. What was the problem? They disagreed over who had the right to use a music beat for Drake's song 0 to 100. It was said that Diddy thought the beat was his and that Drake had taken it without asking. The argument got so heated that Diddy ended up hitting Drake right there in front of people. Where many artists might have stepped back after such a public showdown, especially with someone as influential as Diddy, Drake did not. He kept moving forward, releasing more hit songs which helped him secure his spot as one of the top rappers around. He didn't fight back with angry words or songs. Instead, he rose to the top of the music charts, collected awards, and became a name that everyone knows. Drake's way of handling the whole situation is a prime example of how to stay cool and successful in the tough world of music. By not letting that fight define who he is and continuing to succeed on his own terms, Drake showed he wouldn't let himself be scared or overshadowed by Diddy or anyone else. Kanye West is another one who's never shy to speak his mind, and he hasn't held back when it comes to Diddy either. While they've mostly been on good terms, there have been times when Kanye openly questioned Diddy's influence and the way he does business in the rap industry. During a 2016 concert, Kanye gave one of his famous speeches where he criticized the music industry and the people he thought were holding it back. He hinted that Diddy's style of managing artists was outdated, suggesting that Diddy was more interested in keeping control than in truly helping artists grow. For Kanye, Diddy represents the old ways of doing things, the established powers he thinks need to be shaken up. Kanye's willingness to share his bold views showed that he doesn't care about following the usual rules set by people like Diddy. His constant push for his own artistic goals and refusal to stick to the usual industry standards show that he isn't one to be limited by Diddy's influence. J. Cole might seem quiet, but when pushed, he showed he wouldn't let anyone push him around, not even Diddy. What made him step up in that heated moment? The night J. Cole faced Diddy. J. Cole is known for his calm style, deep lyrics, and tendency to stay out of the usual hip-hop dramas. But that doesn't mean he's afraid to stand up for himself or his friends, even if it means going up against big names like Diddy.
What somebody's saying about you, you know what I mean? And it's like, there was nobody to tell you, like cigarettes.
The story of J. Cole's run-in with Diddy is a reminder that even the most low-key rappers can rise to the occasion when needed. In 2013, at an after-party for the MTV Video Music Awards, a surprising clash happened between Diddy, Kendrick Lamar, and J. Cole. The issue began when Diddy, always straightforward, reacted to a line in Kendrick Lamar's song Control, where Kendrick called himself the King of New York. Many in the rap community were upset by Kendrick's bold statement, and Diddy, proud of his New York roots, challenged Kendrick right there at the party. As things got more tense, J. Cole, who is close friends with Kendrick, stepped in to defend him. The situation quickly turned physical between J. Cole and Diddy. Although the full details of their scuffle weren't broadcasted much, those who saw it say that J. Cole didn't back down, even though he was up against someone as powerful as Diddy. This event was unexpected for many of J. Cole's fans, who know him as a thoughtful and reserved artist. However, it showed that J. Cole isn't someone who will let others push him or his friends around. It was a moment that showed another side of J. Cole, one ready to face off with one of the legends of hip-hop to protect what he believes in. J. Cole's quiet strength and unwillingness to be pushed around by Diddy left a strong impression, proving that you don't need to be the loudest or most aggressive to stand your ground fearlessly. While he's not a rapper himself, Suge Knight's significant impact on the hip-hop scene means he can't be left out of discussions about those who stood firm against Diddy. As the co-founder of Death Row Records, Suge Knight was the face of West Coast rap in the 1990s, and his conflict with Diddy was part of one of the most intense and risky times in rap history. The bad blood between Suge Knight and Diddy started as their music labels, Death Row Records and Bad Boy Records, clashed, turning their rivalry into a major culture conflict. Suge Knight was more than just a tough businessman. He personified the unrefined and often brutal side of urban life. He didn't care for being subtle and made his feelings clear during the 1995 Source Awards when he openly criticized Diddy by saying, "If you don't want the executive producer all in your videos, all on the record, dancing, come to Death Row." This statement was a direct dig at Diddy's tendency to prominently feature himself in his artists' music videos, often dancing and stealing the spotlight, a behavior Suge Knight viewed as distracting and self-centered. Suge's blunt comments sent ripples across the music industry, marking a crucial moment in the infamous East Coast versus West Coast rivalry that would shape the rap scene for years. This feud wasn't just about different music styles, it got personal, with Suge Knight explicitly seeing Diddy as his rival. Rumors swirled that Suge was behind various attempts to undermine Bad Boy Records, and as tensions rose, the conflict spilled into the streets. This rivalry between the labels contributed to a dangerous environment that tragically led to the deaths of Tupac Shakur and the notorious B.I.G., becoming one of the grimmest chapters in rap history. Suge Knight's aggressive stance against Diddy went beyond normal competition. It was about proving who was in charge and showing he wouldn't back down to anyone. In a world where power and respect were everything, Suge Knight's open defiance against Diddy, his influence, and his business empire solidified his image as one of the most daunting figures in the music industry, despite the high stakes involved. The game's words weren't just for show, they cut right through Diddy's perfect image. But as we dig deeper, you'll see he wasn't just talking. The Game takes on Diddy. Jason Terrell Taylor, known as The Game, is another artist who doesn't hesitate to voice his opinions or challenge anyone in the rap industry, including Diddy. As a staunch representative of the West Coast, The Game has frequently expressed his disdain for those he considers fake or manipulative, with Diddy being one of them. Throughout his career, The Game has criticized Diddy, especially accusing him of using artists for personal gain and then abandoning them once they no longer serve his purposes. This critique reflects a broader criticism of Diddy's business tactics, suggesting that his success often came at the cost of the artists linked to Bad Boy Records. The Game has boldly pointed out that many artists who once worked under Diddy have struggled or disappeared after their association with Bad Boy. He has even described Diddy as someone who drains the life out of people for his own benefit. The Game's criticism extends beyond music to Diddy's overall business practices, clearly stating his lack of respect for someone who doesn't genuinely care about his artist's well-being. Despite Diddy's vast influence in the industry, The Game has continued to speak up. He has even included subtle jabs at Diddy in his music, emphasizing that he isn't afraid of Diddy or the potential fallout from stating his views. The game's attitude exemplifies that of many West Coast artists who refuse to be overshadowed or dictated by any East Coast powerhouse, no matter their power. Diddy's impact on hip-hop is unmistakable. He's regarded as a pioneer, an innovator, and a visionary who has been part of some of the most iconic moments in music history. But no matter how much influence he wields, there will always be those who challenge his authority, refuse to submit, and make it known that they aren't intimidated, even by a mogul like Diddy. From 50 Cent's relentless teasing to Tupac Shakur's bold resistance, from Eminem's cutting humor to Kanye West's unfiltered candor, these artists have shown that fear doesn't belong in their vocabulary. Each has challenged Diddy's supremacy in their own unique way, refusing to be silenced, willing to risk everything to maintain their independence, integrity, and authenticity. These artists' stories are not just about arguments or theatrics, they showcase a dedication to resisting control and a refusal to be overpowered by anyone, no matter how well-known they are. It highlights a particular way of thinking, a strong belief that despite how influential a person may be, everyone has the right to speak their truth and question the usual ways things are done. This bravery isn't just a personal trait of these artists, it's a core element of hip-hop culture. From its inception, hip-hop has been about standing strong against oppression, providing a platform for those without one, and opposing those who try to wield their power unjustly. In a world where it often feels like the powerful always win, these artists prove that nobody is untouchable, not even famous figures like Diddy. These courageous musicians don't just affect current discussions, they also motivate future artists and remind everyone that in hip-hop, respect needs to be earned. When you start showing fear towards someone, it's as if you've already lost the battle. Icons like 50 Cent, Eminem, Tupac, Kanye, Drake, J. Cole, The Game, and even figures from outside the traditional rapper sphere like Suge Knight are remembered as titans who stayed true, didn't falter, and demonstrated that succumbing to fear has no place in rap. Their influence is profound, affecting how music evolves, shaping how stories are told and identities are formed within the culture. They push the boundaries of what it means to be an artist in an industry that often tries to mold personalities to fit a certain narrative. They've turned their personal struggles and battles into public statements about freedom and authenticity. They remind the young artists coming up that it's okay to be different, to challenge the norms, and to stay true to themselves even when the industry pushes them to conform. Their legacies offer lessons in resilience, showing that you can maintain your integrity and still achieve great things. These stories of bravery and defiance are not just passed down as legends in the music world, they serve as real-life examples of how to stand up against the odds. Their defiance goes beyond their music. It's reflected in how they handle their careers and interactions with the music industry's power brokers. They've managed to carve out spaces where they can be themselves, often creating new paths that others had not dared to tread. This defiance against the mainstream has not only made them icons, but has also opened doors for others who felt they didn't fit the traditional mold. Did these rappers truly stand up to Diddy because they were fearless, or was there something deeper driving their defiance? Share your thoughts and remember to like and subscribe for more.